The fragile remains of ancient Aztec structures emerge starkly from the dry, cracked earth, standing as testaments to both the passage of time and the forces of nature. However, it is not just centuries of weathering that have led to their deterioration. A devastating 7.1 magnitude earthquake recently shook this historic area, further weakening the foundations of its iconic temples. In the aftermath of the quake, archaeologists working to assess the damage stumbled upon a discovery that no one could have anticipated. Deep within the crumbling walls of one particular structure, a long-hidden secret came to light, something that had remained untouched for hundreds of years, waiting to be unearthed. This remarkable discovery occurred at Tlayacapan, a site nestled in the heart of central Mexico. Tlayacapan is renowned for its collection of historical monuments, and following the catastrophic earthquake of September 2017, experts were quick to evaluate its condition. Scholars from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, led the investigation, initially focusing on stabilizing the damaged structures. Yet, as they began digging pits atop one of the pyramids in an effort to preserve it, they encountered something extraordinary buried within the ancient masonry. This hidden artifact or feature predates even the Aztecs themselves, adding a new layer of mystery to the site's already rich history. The discovery raises intriguing questions. What could this long-lost secret tell us about the early inhabitants of the region? How does it reshape our understanding of the cultures that flourished in pre-Columbian Mexico? Scholars believe the answers lie with the Tlahuica, an indigenous group that played a significant role in laying the foundations for the powerful Aztec Empire that followed. While Tlayacapan is today most closely associated with Aztec history, its origins are actually rooted in the Tlahuica civilization, which thrived long before the Aztecs rose to prominence. Historical accounts suggest that the Tlahuica people arrived in what is now the Morelos region during the 12th century. It was during this time that they established the settlement of Cuernavac, known today as Cuernavaca. According to indigenous Mexico, the Tlahuica society was made up of approximately 50 autonomous city-states scattered across Morelos, each contributing to the cultural and political landscape of the time. However, as the centuries passed, a powerful new empire emerged to the north, centered around the city of Tenochtitlan, today's Mexico City, marking the beginning of Aztec dominance. The seismic event that revealed this ancient secret not only underscores the fragility of these historical sites but also offers an unprecedented glimpse into the lives of the people who once called this region home. As archaeologists continue to study the hidden find, they hope to piece together a more complete story of the Tlahuica civilization and its contributions to the complex tapestry of Mesoamerican history. For more information, consult primary sources from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, and additional cultural history provided by indigenous Mexico. In what is now modern-day Mexico City, the Aztec civilization rose rapidly to dominate the region, establishing itself as a powerful and influential empire. Initially, the Tlahuica people, an indigenous group that predated the Aztecs, held their own as a recognized power in the area. However, in 1427, Aztec Emperor Moctezuma Ilhuacaminah led a campaign to conquer the Tlahuica city-states, including Cuernavac, now Cuernavaca, and other neighboring settlements. This expansionist move brought these territories and their cultural heritage under the control of the burgeoning Aztec Empire. During this conquest, the Aztecs also claimed the ceremonial site of Tlayacapan, which had been significant to the Tlahuica people. Today, historians and archaeologists regard Tlayacapan as an essential site, once central to Tlahuica society. Although the ceremonial heart of the Tlahuica city-state eventually shifted to another location, Tlayacapan still holds a wealth of historical and architectural significance. The complex, initially constructed by the Tlahuica, was later modified and expanded under Aztec rule. Most of the artifacts and ruins uncovered at the site reflect this later Aztec influence, suggesting a layering of cultures over time. But even in a place so steeped in history, Tlayacapan has continued to captivate experts, particularly with a discovery that has left archaeologists around the world astonished. The site, situated on the outskirts of the modern-day town of Cuernavaca, features numerous structures scattered across its grounds. These include modest platforms and staircases, as well as larger, more substantial buildings. However, the focal point of the complex is undoubtedly the Great Platform, a monumental pyramid-shaped structure that dominates the landscape. According to research shared by Smithsonian Magazine, the construction of this impressive platform began in the early 13th century. At the time, its basalt base was covered with multiple layers of plaster, which were then adorned with vibrant and intricate painted designs. Unfortunately, these colorful embellishments have long since faded, leaving behind only the stone framework of what once was a striking centerpiece. Despite the passage of centuries and the inevitable wear of time, Tlayacapan remains one of the most significant archaeological sites linked to the Aztecs in Central America. The twin temples that sit atop the Great Platform are particularly notable, as they represent an early example of a dual temple design, a style that would later be replicated throughout the Aztec Empire. On the northern side of the platform lies the ruins of a temple dedicated to Tlaloc, the rain god revered for his control over water and agriculture. On the southern side, another temple once stood in honor of Huitzilopochtli, the fierce god of war and sun. Between these temples, two parallel staircases provided ceremonial access to the sacred chambers above. The architectural elements of Tlayacapan demonstrate how the Aztecs adopted and adapted earlier designs to reflect their own religious and cultural values. The twin temple layout, for example, became a defining feature of Aztec ceremonial centers, emphasizing the importance of balancing dual aspects of life, such as war and fertility, in their worldview. As researchers continue to explore the site, they uncover layers of history that shed light on the complex relationship between the Tlahuica and Aztec civilizations, as well as the evolving cultural landscape of pre-Columbian Mexico. For further details, you can refer to sources like Smithsonian Magazine and academic studies published by the National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH. For centuries, towering temples like the Templo Mayor in Tenochtitlan stood as the spiritual and cultural hubs of the Aztec Empire, reflecting their advanced engineering and deeply rooted religious beliefs. These monumental structures were more than just architectural feats, they were the focal points of bustling cities, where ceremonies, rituals, and communal activities took place. However, the story of these sacred sites took a dramatic turn in the 16th century when Spanish conquistadors arrived in Central America. Their arrival marked the beginning of the end for the mighty Aztec Empire. The temples, once centers of vibrant communities, were abandoned and fell into disrepair, overshadowed by the colonizers' newly constructed settlements. One such site, Tlayacapan, fell into obscurity for centuries. Its ruins lay hidden beneath layers of earth, silently waiting to tell their stories. Then, in 1910, amid the turbulence of the Mexican Revolution, the ancient temple complex was rediscovered in an unexpected way. Revolutionaries loyal to Emiliano Zapata, engaged in a fierce struggle against the Mexican government, stumbled upon the site. They converted the abandoned complex into a strategic base, using its elevated platforms to position cannons against federal forces in the nearby city of Cuernavaca. As battles raged, the soil covering the temple's ancient stone structures began to shift, revealing remnants of its Aztec past. This inadvertent uncovering marked the beginning of Tlayacapan's re-emergence from obscurity. In the years that followed, initial archaeological investigations were launched, followed by more systematic excavations aimed at understanding the site's historical significance. Despite these efforts, many secrets remained buried, undisturbed by human exploration. That changed dramatically on September 19, 2017, when a powerful earthquake struck central Mexico. Measuring 7.1 on the Richter scale, the quake caused widespread devastation, leveling buildings across Morelos, Puebla, and surrounding regions. Its impact extended far beyond modern urban areas, as the tremors also inflicted severe damage on ancient sites, including the famed Monte Alban and Tlayacapan. Monte Alban, considered one of Mesoamerica's oldest settlements, suffered significant structural damage. Located over 200 miles southeast of the earthquake's epicenter, this ancient cultural center was believed to have thrived some 2,000 years ago before being abandoned between 700 and 950 AD. according to Lonely Planet. The World Monuments Fund reported that as many as 15 buildings at Monte Alban and the nearby Atsompa site sustained damage during the quake, with emergency stabilization work required to prevent the collapse of 5 structures. Meanwhile, some 300 miles northwest, the pyramid complex at Tlayacapan was not spared from the earthquake's wrath. Though less prominent than Monte Alban, the site holds immense historical value as a window into the region's Aztec and pre-Aztec history. The tremors caused further erosion and displacement of soil, once again exposing ancient stonework that had remained hidden for centuries. But this time, the earthquake did more than just reveal old ruins, it brought to light something entirely unexpected. The seismic activity had uncovered a previously unknown feature of the site, one that had escaped decades of archaeological research. This discovery reignited interest in Tlayacapan, sparking new questions about the site's origins and the people who built it. The events of 2017 highlight the vulnerability of both ancient and modern structures to natural disasters, as well as the enduring ability of these historical sites to reveal new insights. Each layer of stone and soil uncovered at places like Tlayacapan and Monte Alban adds another piece to the puzzle of Mesoamerican history, deepening our understanding of the cultures that once thrived in these regions. As restoration efforts continue, these sites serve as poignant reminders of the rich, yet fragile, heritage that connects us to the past. For additional information, sources include Lonely Planet, the World Monuments Fund, and archaeological research published by Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH. The Great Platform at Tlayacapan faced an unprecedented challenge when a powerful earthquake struck the region, shaking the ancient structure to its very core. The tremors caused significant damage, destabilizing its foundations and altering its internal structure in ways archaeologists had not seen before. Barbara Konieczna, an archaeologist from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, explained in a statement that the earthquake caused a considerable rearrangement of the core of the structure, a level of destruction that left experts deeply concerned. However, what began as an effort to assess the damage soon turned into an extraordinary journey of discovery, revealing secrets buried for centuries beneath the ancient site. The primary damage was concentrated on the most iconic section of the platform, the area housing the twin temples dedicated to Tlaloc, the rain god, and Huitzilopochtli, the god of war. According to INA's statement, the most serious damage was located in the upper part, where the temples are situated. The quake caused the floor between the two shrines to sink and tilt dangerously, threatening the stability of the entire structure. Faced with the risk of further collapse, archaeologists began a detailed investigation to understand the full extent of the devastation. Initially, they employed ground-penetrating radar to scan the Great Platform, hoping to map its internal features without causing additional damage. However, they quickly realized that to truly assess the situation, they would need to dig beneath the structure itself. The team decided to excavate 2 wells, one within the Temple of Tlaloc and another in the passage between the twin shrines. As they delved deeper into the platform, they uncovered something completely unexpected, a hidden treasure buried beneath the visible Aztec ruins. Beneath the layers of stone and stucco that formed the Great Platform, archaeologists discovered the remains of an even older structure. This concealed building had eluded detection by previous excavations, surprising researchers with its remarkable preservation. Located just over 6 feet beneath the surface of the Great Platform, this hidden temple revealed itself as an extraordinary find. Its architecture bore striking similarities to the structure above it, hinting at a continuity of design and purpose over centuries. Like the later temple, the buried structure featured walls made of stones coated with 2 layers of stucco. Measuring approximately 20 by 13 feet, this earlier temple appeared to mirror the design principles of the Aztec shrine above, suggesting a cultural connection between the 2 eras. Through further analysis, researchers dated the buried temple to between 1150 and 1200 AD, a time before Tlayacapan fell under the control of the Aztec Empire. This indicates that the hidden structure predates Emperor Moctezuma Ilhuacamina's conquest of the region, which brought the site into the Aztec fold. As such, the temple is likely a relic of the earlier Tlahuica civilization, providing a rare glimpse into the site's origins before it became an integral part of Aztec religious life. This remarkable discovery not only highlights the complex history of Tlayacapan but also underscores the layered nature of Mesoamerican archaeological sites. Each generation built upon the work of the previous one, creating structures that served as physical embodiments of cultural evolution and continuity. The buried temple offers a fascinating look into the architectural practices and spiritual traditions of the Tlahuica people, laying the groundwork for the grandeur of the Aztec structures that followed. It stands as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of these ancient cultures, whose legacies continue to be uncovered, piece by piece, beneath the soil of central Mexico. For additional insights, consult resources from the National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, which provides detailed accounts of the archaeological investigations, and other historical publications documenting Mesoamerican civilizations. When the Tlahuica civilization still thrived in central Mexico, the structures at Tlayacapan served as significant religious and cultural hubs. Archaeologists now believe that the recently uncovered earlier temple, located beneath the Aztec-era Great Platform, was dedicated to the worship of Tlaloc, the rain god, a role that closely parallels the temple built above it during the Aztec period. However, this was not the only surprise waiting to be uncovered. According to an official statement from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, evidence suggests that a second temple, potentially an oratory dedicated to Huitzilopochtli, the god of war, might also exist beneath its later counterpart. This groundbreaking discovery indicates that the concept of twin temples, two shrines built side by side to honor distinct deities, predates the Aztec Empire by centuries. It challenges the long-held assumption that the twin temple design, most famously represented by the Templo Mayor in Tenochtitlan, was an original Aztec innovation. Instead, it now appears that the Aztecs adopted and adapted this architectural style from earlier civilizations like the Tlahuica. As archaeologist Barbara Konieczna explained, this find fundamentally alters the historical timeline of Tlayacapan, demonstrating that the architectural influence flowed in the opposite direction than previously believed. Rather than the Aztecs introducing this style to the region, it was the earlier Tlahuica structures that inspired the later construction of the Templo Mayor and similar monuments across the empire. Despite the advanced age of this newly unearthed temple, archaeologists have been able to glean valuable insights into what it might have looked like during its heyday. Unlike the twin temples at the Templo Mayor, the earlier structure at Tlayacapan appears to lack a roof, which experts believe was likely made of perishable materials, such as wood or thatch. Over the centuries, the region's high humidity wreaked havoc on the temple's stucco-covered walls, leading to significant erosion. In many places, the vibrant plasterwork that once adorned the structure has worn away almost entirely. However, the excavation team managed to recover fragments of the ancient stucco, which will now be carefully preserved to protect this important piece of history. Further investigation revealed more intriguing details about the temple's construction. Archaeologists found that the floor of the earlier structure was also coated in stucco, providing a glimpse into the elaborate finishing techniques used by the Tlahuica builders. Beneath this layer, they uncovered a foundation made of tezontle, a type of volcanic rock commonly used in construction throughout Mesoamerica. This durable material not only provided structural stability but also highlights the ingenuity of the region's ancient architects, who made use of locally available resources to create enduring monuments. The discovery of this buried temple adds a new chapter to the story of Tlayacapan, illustrating how its significance as a cultural and religious center evolved over centuries. What was once considered simply another example of Aztec twin temples now stands as a testament to the Tlahuica's architectural achievements and their influence on one of the most powerful empires in the Americas. This find underscores the layered complexity of Mesoamerican history, where each civilization contributed to a shared cultural legacy that continues to captivate researchers and historians today. For more information, sources include the National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, and archaeological analyses published on Mesoamerican architecture and history. Deep within the ancient ruins of Mexico, layers of history continue to be uncovered, often in the most unexpected ways. During the aftermath of the devastating 2017 earthquake, archaeologists working at Tlayacapan made a fascinating discovery: a thin layer of charcoal scattered within the site of a newly unearthed temple. While the purpose of this material remains unclear, its presence has sparked numerous questions. Could this charcoal be remnants of a ceremonial smoke-filled ritual once conducted by the Tlahuica people? Or is it evidence of the temple's destruction? Some experts have even speculated that it might be the result of another unknown disaster, adding an air of mystery to the site. The earthquake not only revealed architectural treasures but also brought to light several artifacts within the ruins of the earlier temple. Among these was a beautifully crafted incense burner adorned with Tlahuica designs, offering a glimpse into the spiritual practices of the people who worshipped there. Alongside the burner, archaeologists uncovered ceramic fragments left behind by those who once inhabited the region. According to a statement from the National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, a substantial deposit of coal was also found at the site, hinting at a complex and layered history. Whether this deposit was linked to rituals, destruction, or natural processes remains uncertain, but the discovery deepens our understanding of how earlier civilizations used and reused sacred spaces. Interestingly, it appears that constructing new temples atop older ones was a common practice among the Tlahuica people. Barbara Konieczna, one of the archaeologists involved, explained that this was not necessarily an indication of disaster but rather a cultural norm. Older structures often served as the foundations for newer ones, preserving a connection to the past while meeting the needs of the present. This tradition of reusing sacred spaces underscores the enduring significance of these locations, even as civilizations rose and fell over time. This phenomenon of natural disasters revealing hidden archaeological treasures is not unique to Mexico. In 2003, a devastating wildfire swept through the North York Moors in England, burning away dense vegetation and exposing previously hidden prehistoric features. Archaeologists discovered ancient rock carvings, field systems, and even traces of 20th-century military activity, providing a rare opportunity to study the region's history across millennia. Similarly, in the low-lying county of Somerset in southern England, extreme flooding has occasionally revealed historic landscapes, including Saxon settlements that emerge when water levels rise. Across the Irish Sea, another extraordinary discovery occurred in 2017 after Hurricane Ophelia battered the coast of County Wexford in Ireland. Powerful waves eroded the shoreline, causing soil to collapse and exposing a set of human remains. Initially, locals feared the remains belonged to someone tragically lost during the storm. However, further examination revealed that the skeleton dated back to the Iron Age, representing only the second ancient burial ever found in the region. Experts determined that the individual had been deliberately buried at the site rather than carried in by the sea, adding a fascinating piece to Ireland's archaeological record. Natural disasters have similarly unveiled hidden histories in Scotland. In 2016, storms lashed the Orkney Islands, eroding the coastline and uncovering a detailed Pictish carving. This intricate artwork, preserved for centuries beneath layers of soil, offered new insights into the culture and craftsmanship of the ancient Picts, a people who lived in what is now northern Scotland during the late Iron Age and early medieval period. These discoveries highlight how destructive natural forces can unexpectedly serve as a boon to archaeology, revealing forgotten chapters of human history. Back in Mexico, researchers continue to explore the newfound temple at Tlayacapan. However, as archaeologist Jorge Bravo Lopez pointed out, much work remains to fully understand the structure beneath the Great Platform. Further studies will be crucial in piecing together the story of this site and its significance in the region's rich cultural tapestry. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this exploration of history revealed by nature, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this.